Okay, looks like we're live. Everything's looking good. Okay, gonna share this out. Let people know the stream is going. So bear with me here. Testing out new mic. Let's see if we're getting mic. It looks like we're getting audio. We're getting everything. So here we go. All right. Get that. Post up on the Facebook page that we are live stream. I have to change up how I log into the groups. It's kind of annoying the way the Facebook's changed up the way their groups are. The way you log in used to be you could just jump straight in and you'd be in your profile of the group, and now it's like you gotta select it and all that. So that's never fun. Live now. Bear with me in a second here. All right. Yep. All right. Posting that. Posting. Okay. And then still logged in. See what I mean? I'm like still logged in Boonheim Productions on Facebook because it doesn't give me all this. Always funny. This takes me a minute to get everything. Okay, live now. All right. Okay. And we're set. Okay. I've got a couple of people online. Ash Fisher 1993, what's up? You know, like in the beloved commercial, you know? What's up? Yeah. No, yeah. Hi, everyone. Hope this looks good. We're trying out some new equipment. We've got new microphone working here, and we got some new lighting system. A couple of new lights up. Of course, I'm using the DSLR to do this, and then you can see the microphone right here. So we're trying this to see how well the streams can look. I think it looks a ton better. I'm looking on the screen right here. It looks great. Mike TV, sup Tom, sup. Glad you're able to join us. Now that the stuff is my wife, she helped set this all up, so big thank you to her for this. But yeah, okay. So I guess we'll talk phase 4 and Blue Diamond Productions and stuff. So first off, haircut, shave. I mean, I've let it grow a little bit, and I've got a bit of scruff going right now, but no longer the full beard I had going. Different look. I know the early promotional work for the Lost Scene 6 had me with the longer hair, kind of my trick or treat look from that film. In the end, it just was a case of I wasn't comfortable, and we hadn't shot enough of the movie for me to have an issue with it being like, hey, you know, we'd have to reshoot anything. So I could get away with it. I was like, it's now or never. And with all the delays we've had with filming the movie, it just in the end was comfort over style. So I wanted to be comfortable. So Niven's going to have more of his regular original look from the earlier films, which is fine for me. It was an interesting experiment to try longer hair, but I don't think I'm ever going to let it grow that long again. Nor am I going to do that much of a beard probably ever again. That's probably a one-off. There's that. I'll edit it. It'd be nice if we were able to roll pretty similarly to the same schedule we had with The Lost Scene 5. I think it's going to be very similar to that film in terms of shooting schedule. So nothing too crazy, nothing too difficult. I think it's a little simpler. There aren't as many effects as there's not as big, like they're the same kind of like shootouts or anything. So I think it's going to be simpler film in that regards. The action scenes are a little more fighting, like um actual like fist fights and some pistols and stuff, but there's not like machine guns and shotguns and all that. There's a little bit, but nothing compared to what was in The Lost Scene 5. That's not this kind of film. I'm trying to do something a little different here. So there is that. Let's see what other phase 4, the Legends. Sorry about the Legends. Um we have the script almost finished, and then we'll start recording our lines and everything. So we'll have, hopefully we'll be able to get that out there pretty soon. I'd like to try to get it out before the end of the year. It might be early next year, but we really do need to finally have that project done and behind us. That would really help out things in the Legends Cinematic Universe. We actually had the Legends film done, since we're starting to get the films way past those events. And I think it'd be nice to be able to show, okay, when did they meet up and what was that like? It's just delays and stuff, and really nailing down the script, because I want it to be the best it can be. So, I'm not satisfied if I'm just going to turn in a lazy first draft script. So, it's gone through a few rewrites and some changes as it's evolved, and I think the final product will be pretty nice. After that, we got Rogues Gallery and Indiana Jones. Those two productions are going to be done pretty close together, because they're both set in a similar time period. So I think filming those pretty close together will work pretty well, because we'll have a lot of the props and everything we need for that all together, because Indiana Jones is set in 1937, and then Rogues Gallery is set in 1946. So it's pretty similar time period. A lot of the same prop weapons and stuff will be used. Just got to get the scripts finished for both of those. Those will be being worked on in early 2023. The only other project I have then after that that's planned out schedule-wise is doing Project Polybius Season 1. Trying to get that whole series. I've come up with most of how the series is going to flow. I want to make sure I have the full series kind of mapped out before jumping into it, because too many shows, they just figure out like 1 or 2 seasons and then they don't really have a plan. I mean, I even am guilty of that. That's what we did with The Survivor. I had an idea and I kind of threw it out there. People liked it. Then I had to figure out where it was going to go from there. And then that I started to get a story all figured out, but it took a minute. And I think it could have been nice if we had planned out a little bit more ahead of time where it was going to go. And I think Project Polybius will benefit from having a lot more planned out. I do have, in total, the plan is 5 seasons, if it can go that far. If it can't, it can't. But the plan is 5 seasons, 10 episodes each, 50 episodes in total. Each season has a major villain. Then, of course, we get to the final season, we get to the final boss, who's been kind of pulling all the strings, So, kind of going into the horror suspense theater with that, which is going to be something new and different for us, but I think it'll be a lot of fun, especially considering it's really just, it's an homage and a real recognition to like a lot of the good stories that have come about on the internet, like creepypastas and that sort of thing, and internet series that deal with strange and bizarre occurrences and stuff. I think, yeah, it's just a love letter to that sort of thing, and just being like, hey, what if all this existed in the same universe, or at least parallel universes close to enough to each other that they could interact. But the story is still being fleshed out, and we hope to at least get the first season going around the time of this time next year. To really have that going. As Fisher 1983 says, I think it's a unique concept. I dig it. Yep. Things What to expect. If any of you know anything about the series, The Backrooms, that will definitely be playing effect in that. Backrooms. Let's see. I'm trying not to spoil too much with the ideas, but Backrooms. You'll get Local 58 references, Project Gemini, Godzilla NES creepypasta, Ben Drowned, those sorts of the Majora's Mask creepypasta, those sorts of things will be referenced and stuff. So I think it'll be a fun little project. I'm still trying to figure out what style it's going to be shot in, whether it's going to be regular narrative style filmmaking, or if we're going to do like found footage, or do kind of a hybrid between the two, because it might help to do some found footage style to be able to help with some of the more difficult shots that would require a lot more. It'd be easier to mask like VisFX shots if we're doing it in like found footage style. So some of the events might be done like as like body cams of some of the characters who go into these strange worlds, while some of the scenes might be played out more traditional styles. Not sure yet, because I'm thinking about taking maybe more the approach of what we did with the Survivor Tomorrow's War approach, where we kind of was doing kind of the hybrid nature, where we were seeing Sam with the camera pointing it around, and then seeing him outside of the camera. And I thought that was an interesting approach. Speaking on that, I haven't officially canceled the Survivor Tomorrow's War, though if Project Polybius is able to move forward and is successful like we want it to be, it probably means that series will need to be canceled and considered non-canon within the Survivor. More or less being looked at as just a test run for future projects, and showing what the Survivor could have looked like if we had made it 10 years after when we actually made it. It might just kind of remain in that kind of as an experiment. Not sure. I haven't officially canceled it yet, but its state is kind of in limbo right now. Let's see. What else is there? Those are the major films. I guess now I'll talk about the film rankings. Let me pull this up. So there's been a bit of a change up within the Blue Diamond film rankings. At least the YouTube votes. The IMDb ones are still the same, but that one's a little different. So that's why I consider them two different ranks, because, well, the YouTube ones, I'm only able to give people 5 options. You've got, A, B, C, D, or F. And then in, of course, IMDb, you've got 10-star rating. So the ratings are always going to come out a little differently. But according to the YouTube ones, Striking has now passed The Lost Scene 3 Covert Operations as the #1 ranked film. Covert Operations went down a bit. Someone else apparently gave it another B vote. So it brought it slightly down. So Striking now sits at the top at 4.93 out of 5, being, of course, the max. So that's pretty close to being a perfect score. So Covert Operations is now second. Pain of Regret is in third with 4.80. Lost Scene 5 Retribution is in fourth at 4.65. Martial Law Reconciliation is in fifth at 4.60. Those are the top 5. Real Business is in sixth, but I'll be posting up a full list of all the change ups in the ranks as I see them. But there has been some change ups here and there. Big ones, Reflection of the Soul is now in 9th. And Shadow Revenge is now like 1 point. So Reflection of the Soul is at 4.34, and Shadow Revenge is at 4.33. Like neck and neck with each other like all the time. And now they're literally in 9th and 10th in this ranking, which is surprising to me that they've gotten like that much love. Trick or Treat, I mean, one of our newer films, it's in 17th with 4.13. I mean, considering the simple nature of the concept, it's right behind the General's Requiem, which is funny because they're very similar projects. They mirror each other in a lot of ways. Polovich didn't do as hot. It's a 3.89. That one didn't resonate with people as much. There's only 4 films that are actually ranked lower than The Price of Loyalty, which is great because The Price of Loyalty being our first film, I think should be near the bottom, like at the bottom. But there's only Calm Before the Storm, Choices, the class version project that we did, Book by Its Cover, and Flower are the only ones that are at right below it. So that's pretty good. Most of the films that are near the bottom, I think the ranking is very accurate to where we're at. Like I said though, like IMDb, it's a little different. Like let me pull up the IMDb ones. Like the IMDb ones, of course, only 25 out of the 41 projects we've done are on there, and of course, The Survivor, I can't. It ranks the whole series rather than seasons 1 and 2 separately. So technically, I guess 26 projects are up there, but one is combined. And then that one, The Pain of Regret, is at 9.5 out of 10, which is really good. Really good score. The Pain of Regret's number 1. Real Business is number 2 at 9.0. And James Bond Fan Films of Forever is in third at 9.0. Oh, it has fewer votes, so I rank it right below The Real Business. And then Lost Scene 3 and 5 are right behind that. And Chess is pretty high up there, which is not as high on the YouTube ranking, but it's pretty high up on IMDb's ranking. And then Martial Law Reconciliation. So a lot of the similar ones, it's pretty clear what films are pretty popular for us. But that's with the rankings, which I want to talk about. So we've talked about, what's going on with Phase 4, Lost Scene 6. Lost Scene 6, other things I can really say with that is just, it is weird to finally be here, to be at the end of this series, considering 2011 is when it started, at the beginning of 2011. So, by the time the film's finished and, I'm kind of reflecting on it, next thing you know, it'll be February 2023, and it'll be like, 12 years later, and knowing the series is done, which is an average of about 2 films, a film every 2 years. But of course, there were some that were filmed back to back and stuff like that, and there were some large gaps in between, like 3 and 4. There's a 6-year gap between filming 3 and 4. So yeah, it's fun to finally come to the end of this journey that we started, and I never would have guessed it would have been here. But to be honest, though, Redemption. Sorry, Lost Scene 6 Redemption. I've had this idea since 2012 of where this story would go and where it would end. So this is nothing new. Kind of like Retribution. Retribution had been in my mind since 2011. I mean, it was originally, Retribution's story was pretty much what The Lost Scene 3 was originally going to be, back when it was just going to be 3 films. A lot of Retribution story, except of course, instead of Sean Deakins, it was going to be Vin, and they were going to have the little crossover, and then that was going to be the story. We're going to reveal that Grayson was a traitor, and that was it, and the story right there. And then, of course, 3 ended up being a prequel, and then 4 was going to be Retribution. Then when we reintroduced the story, we decided to make Choices. Choices originally going to be just a spin-off film, but we decided to make it part of the official line because it does continue the story and it reintroduces a major character to the series. So I decided to make it a number entry into the series. So I made Retribution 5. I made 6. S. Fisher in 1993 says, since you mentioned 3, that sneaking sequence was really cool. Yeah, it's one of my favorite scenes that we filmed for that series, and honestly, in Blue Diamonds as a whole, it's definitely one of my top sequences. And it was all unscripted. I mean, the script says they sneak to the base, and then of course we filmed all that. And I still remember going out and filming that. Used to go horseback riding in that area, but so I knew where all these trails were. Of course, Sam Russell and the 3rd episode of season 2 of The Survivor also walks along that same exact trail in that episode. So I use that now that the area is inaccessible. Sad news is pretty much there probably will be no more filming ever. I might try to get one last filming. I might get a couple of shots for the Lost Scene 6 with Survivor Rock, just as kind of a goodbye to this location, because all that upper area, like where the Shadow Revenge's pre-title sequence was filmed, where the training exercise, all those trees, all that woods up there, and the Survivor season 1 episode 10 was filmed up there. Contact was filmed up there. They're putting in a whole housing development up there. Those woods are pretty much almost gone now. You can actually see from the bottom where the road is, you can actually see the houses starting to come up. So that whole wooded area is pretty much gone. So it's no longer really a viable filming location. I think we'll try to get one last little bit of filming there, just as a goodbye to this location, since it's been so many Blue Diamond projects. It's Fisher 1993 says, yeah, inspired by my favorite mission in Call of Duty 4. Yes. I mean, obviously that sneaking sequence in Lost Scene 3 was inspired by the all gillied up mission from Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare when you're in Pripyat. Yeah. That was the whole kind of point. That was just so that, I mean, that's more Niven's style. He's more of a sneaking around kind of as Sam Fisher kind of guy, more than going in guns blazing like a character like Jack Stone would be, or even Thomas Lund or some of the others from the LCU. Niven does a little bit more sneaking around, except in the 5th movie. I mean, the 5th movie, though, different circumstances. But yeah, so we're going to try to film there just because that location, I mean, it's been there since our 2nd movie. We filmed there. First time we ever filmed there was in 2008. So, 14 years later to finish filming there, and it'll be around the same time of the year too, November. I think it was November 2008 we filmed out there. That was the first time we ever filmed out there. It's changed in 14 years. And yeah, it's kind of sad that this is going to be like the last time we film out there. It's been a nice little secluded spot, perfect for filming. But yeah, just things change, everything develops. I mean, the amount that this, Columbia, Missouri has changed in the 15 years we've been filming. That's the other thing. I really can't believe we're already here at 15 years. Around this time we've been finishing up production. We've been gearing up, trying to finish up production of Price of Loyalty. I think we were filming mostly just like the battle sequence shots at this point when we were filming, because I think we finished in November. I can't remember exactly when we finished, and we did a few shots in February or March of the next year, and then mostly 2008 was just post-production work. So I'm not sure exactly where we were, but that was 15 years ago. A lot of those shots, it's kind of crazy to think about. I was 17. I've almost been making films half my life. That's kind of weird to think about. But we've gone through all the different phases. Phase 4, I don't know if there will ever be a phase 5. Obviously, the phases have been gone through because of changes in production stuff. The film releases, and of course that's where they fit in the phases, is when they were released. They aren't always reflective of when they were filmed, especially when it comes to martial law, because like Martial Law 1 was filmed in between the Survivor season 2 and Reflection of the Soul, but it didn't come out until 2015. Martial Law 2 was filmed right after Reflection of the Soul. In fact, like I've mentioned several times, there's that picture of Patrick and Chelsea talking when they were being Evan Moneypenny, but the shot is not them talking about filming Reflection of the Soul. It's actually them talking about gearing up to start filming Martial Law 2, Insurrection. And then so that was filmed, and then Voyage of the Undead, of course, was filmed after that. And Voyage of the Undead came out before Reflection of the Soul. So technically Voyage of the Undead was the last film filmed for phase 1. but Reflection of the Soul came out afterwards, so it technically is the final film. And then Martial Law Reconciliation, the third film, was filmed in between the Survivor War's End and some of my class projects, like the cool, the classy, the cool, and the casual, and One Good Deed, and The Pain of Regret were all filmed while Martial Law 3 was being filmed around the same time. But of course, doesn't come out until, Martial Law 3 didn't come out until 2018, but all these other films that were filmed were actually filmed after it. So it's kind of, so the order is more of just what was going on at the time, that, the change ups we had with filming. I'm planning on writing a whole article and showing kind of the list of the timeline of the actual filming of the movies compared to when they were released. I plan on showing that on the Blue Diamond website, which I need to change up the link. The link is messed up on the YouTube page. I need to fix that because it got changed when we changed the name from Blue Diamond Filmmakers back to Blue Diamond Productions. So I need to fix that, and I'm trying to update that website so it gives good little blogs and stuff. And of course, I thank you all for checking out the community page on the YouTube channel. That helps us out a lot, and the Facebook page. Just trying to keep the media side going. Outside of that, I think that's pretty much most of the updates. My other channels, Editing Sith Lord, there really isn't a whole lot going on that channel. I need to check in on and see how the comments are going. The channel was created at a time when making fan trailers, rescores, and that sort of thing were super popular, and now the whole community has changed and making those sorts of things. Some channels find some success with doing that, but a lot of times, like, the numbers that a lot of my videos pull in are like so low that it's like the time spent on making some of these, it's like I could be making other videos. That's why I really want to push with the Star Lord of the Jedi channel, which has not done much. I mean, I've done one main video, and that's the James Bond 3 timeline video. But I need to start growing that channel more. So I think Sith Lord, it'll still be around, but it's not really gonna be doing as much. There might be a video occasionally pop up here and there, but for the most part, it's just kind of sitting there as just a monument to the past of YouTube. So that's the news on the other channels. Like I said, I have ideas, some really cool ideas for the Star Wars of the Jedi channel. I don't want to talk about too many of them. Of course, the main one being the first one I really want to launch on is the Godzilla 1998 one, an actual positive review of the film, because it's the film that made me a Godzilla fan. So, I definitely want to get further into working on that channel. And of course, eventually getting that channel to where I can have an audience and do live streams there too, and just talk about movies and stuff, and do more of what YouTube has become now. Reviewing movies and that sort of stuff. So there's that channel. Of course, you can check out, I've got a link to it on here on the Blue Diamond Director channel. So we got the movies going. We got, the Editing Sith Lord channel is still there. And of course, the Legends Cinematic Universe channel has a channel. We don't do a whole lot with it, but, obviously that's where like the Legends is going to be posted and stuff. So we'll have that. And of course, we'll all post links on our own channels to help promote the film. But it's probably going to be most likely upload onto that channel. So we have that channel. Of course, like I said, all the channels are linked on my homepage. So just look under the featured channels. Outside of that, last bit of news. I'm doing more research again on James Bond fan films. Obviously, I've become kind of a chronicler of James Bond fan films. Ever since the documentary, which came out 4 years ago now. Yeah, 4 years ago. James Bond fan films are forever. Found out the very first fan film, The Second Chuck Kills, which was made in 1972. A version of it is uploaded onto YouTube now. I think they've added some things, later on. Moonraker did a similar. Moonraker 78, of course, did a similar thing because they weren't able to finish all the effect shots, so they kind of went back later on and kind of remastered it. I think it's a similar situation, but I mean, film on 8mm film. I mean, these guys, were making the fan film before Roger Moore was even James Bond. I mean, when I think about that, only Connery and Lazenby have been Bond by that point. So that's up. I've got it on the playlist, the chronological James Bond fan film playlist, which is on my channel. I put it at the front, obviously, since it's the first one. I need to do more research to add more films to it and figure things, see how much the landscape of fan films has changed in the last 4 years, because I haven't done as much research as I would like, but, fan films have kind of slowed down quite a bit of James Bond. They were a lot more popular back in the early 2010s and late 2000s, I guess, as well. So it's kind of slowed down a little bit. So, but I do want to see what people have been able to create and come up with in the last 4 years. So there'll be more research. So keep checking out that playlist because I'll keep adding films. And there's a Facebook page or group. I think it's attached in the documentary, on the description of the documentary. I think the page is linked. And Sister 1993 says, the same reason I don't do trailers anymore. It's fun while it lasted, though. Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to, do you want to spend time working on the film? I mean, on the trailers, do you want to spend time doing that when you could be doing other things? And, time is, of course, the biggest thing. The biggest challenge right now with Phase 4 of Blue Diamond is people and time. It's the biggest challenge we've had. That's why our films, I'd say since 2017, have really slowed down. The last 5 years have been a lot harder because I've had a lot less time myself. Although finally, I think with my job and stuff, I've been really got more time, got a better schedule, so I have more time to actually work on these films. And just people, they move on. A lot of people are retired from making films with us, or they've moved on, they've moved away. So it gets harder. It gets a lot harder to make anymore these type of films, but we keep pushing forward. It's just another challenge we have to overcome, and we've overcome many challenges over the years. So I'm very proud of everyone. That's pretty much it. That's all the updates. If you guys have any questions, go ahead, start launching them out there. If no one has any questions, we'll be ending this live stream pretty soon here. Like I said, this was mostly just to get updates and to check out the new system. I think it looks pretty good. Everything I'm seeing here on the screen looks great. I think this will work great for live streaming from here on out. Good lighting system, good microphone, and using DSLR camera, I think it makes everything looks a lot better than when I was using just my laptop to do it all. So I think this can work good, and I'd love to be able to do this live streaming type of stuff with my other channel. I definitely want to talk about a lot of things. There's a lot of shows and movies and stuff that have come out. I'm like, if I could just get my other channel going, I could be starting to review these sorts of things and talking about them, and trying to give fair reviews. And also, of course, I want to be one of those reviewers who definitely says, I have these issues with this thing, or I like this thing. If you like or don't like it, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't want to be one of those who just goes, you're stupid or anything like that. No. That's not me. There's no point in that. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Everyone has their own tastes. So, but just to give out my own opinions. Since I've been so big into movies for a while, I kind of want to talk about it. It'd be just a fun channel to do. I built the channel and then I got busy all of a sudden, right when I was about to start getting it going. It just was like, oh, I got all these other things I need to take care of. So hope to build up that channel more. It seems we do not have any questions. So for the few of you who have been on here live, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. And for those of you who watch this, feel free to ask questions in the comment section. I will answer them. I'll just reply to them in the comment section. So if you check out this live stream, then yeah, definitely shoot me a question. Let us know. and hope to see you all again sometime here in the future. Hopefully with official, like with actual like major footage from the movie trailer for The Lost Scene 6 Redemption. So until then, everyone take care. And this is Tom Smith from Blue Diamond Productions saying good night.